Hard as hardos. It's about that time of the year. That's right. The college football playoff right around the corner. We have a special guest, Ben Kiecker, joining us for the first time on the pod. Ben, how's it going, my guy?
Hey, it's going. Christmas time is here, but exactly like you said, more importantly, the college football playoff is here. I've been winning it on the video game for the last year now. I'm
Okay.
excited to see when and how that's going to transfer to the real gridiron. So I appreciate you guys having on me. Let's talk some football.
Yeah. But first, before we talk football, Spinny, I know it's your background there, man. Where the hell are you at right now? There's no way you're in Minneapolis.
What's up? We're live from Louisville here for the Division One Women's Volleyball Final Four.
Spinny, that's just
Got a
your
bunch.
thing, man. You're just always live in a different city, I feel like every
Gotta
episode.
be, gotta bring it to you. Gotta bring it to the hardies and hardos from cities and countries around the globe. We love doing it. It's gonna be a fun time this weekend. Louisville, Pitt, Nebraska, Penn State, the four Final Four teams. And I know you're gonna ask me, so I'm gonna pick right away.
Yeah,
As
tell
much as
us.
this pains me to do, I think I'm gonna have
Oh,
to pick
oh,
Nebraska. I
oh
really
man,
am.
Oh,
dude.
I know,
Are the Cornhuskers?
probably my most hated my most sports hated college volleyball team. But they look like they're the squad this year. Pitt has been the number one seed the whole year, but Nebraska's been hot lately, so I think they got it. But we're gonna be cheering for Pitt on the low.
Okay. Nebraska still have that insane front line where everyone's like 6'6".
That was Wisconsin, and
Oh,
it is
Wisconsin.
Wisconsin's last year with that front line. But Nebraska beat Wisconsin in the match
Gotcha.
before this, so yep, they're going to be disgusting.
some corn-fed girls there. There's some big girls.
A lot of tall, a lot of
Cornhuskers, right?
athleticism for sure. Nebraska's best players, they're probably their libero though, which is not a common thing as well. Lexi Rodriguez
Right.
is absolutely crazy. Also, the only one of only two women's volleyball NIL deals above $100,000. Shout out Lexi
Really?
Rodriguez for that. Yep,
NLI money, volleyball NIL money. We love to hear it.
literally.
Go get that bread, girls. Go
For
get
You
real.
got to get that bread,
Go get
baby.
that.
it.
But for the first time in a long time, should we hear from Jack?
I we definitely need to hear from Jack. It's been way too
Let's hear
long, but
from Jack, baby.
let's hear from him. Always great to listen to that, Spinny. It's been way too long.
Literally. Shout out Jack Donovan for making our wonderful music. We love you, my guy.
Yes, sir.
That's great.
But
We're in
let's
the
just
zone
dive.
now.
Oh yeah, for sure. Let's just dive right into this tournament. Why not, fellas? First, I gotta ask, where the hell is Alabama Crimson Tide? That's what I gotta ask. Ben, that's my question for you.
You
At
know,
home where they should be, baby. They're
at
sitting
home,
at home, baby.
at home, college football back in the day, it was one versus two. You used to not get the grace of losing a game. Miami,
That's facts, yeah.
Nebraska, USC, Texas, they're all 13 and 0. They're all 12 and 0 in the national championship. This year, a little bit of leeway to lose, but three losses, way too much. DeBoer, okay first season. Nick Saban was actually only 7-6 in his first year, so maybe this is a first year hump to get
Okay.
over. But out of the first time having 12 people in there, Alabama's not in there. America wins. The South again
America
did
wins.
not.
Oh, come on.
True.
America wins.
Everyone out everyone outside of bandwagon fans win in
that's
college football with that.
Yeah,
That's for
that's
I won't
the
sure.
deny it.
question. Do we still not like Alabama, or was that just a Nick Saban thing?
Yeah. You still like Bama?
I still like Bama, but what about the haters? Like, do you guys still hate Alabama even though Nick Saban's gone? That's the real question.
True.
Oh,
And,
it
and Alabama deserves the hate, to be honest.
Right. It reminds me of Kobe Bryant. Always just so much better than everybody. That's why I didn't like him either. Just so good. year in and year out. It's kind of nice to have a little refresher, some new teams, some new blood in there, but we'll see how that pans out on the field.
Yeah.
All right, boss, let's get into it.
12 versus 5, Clemson versus Texas. Texas is sitting at a 12-point underdog. I don't know if I buy that spread, to be honest. Ben, why don't you start us off? What do you think about this game?
So it's funny because this is actually the second time Cade Klubnik and Quinn Ewers are going to play each other. I'm not sure if you guys knew, but January of 21, the Texas 6A state championship, these two cats
Really?
went up
Okay.
against each other. Yes, Cade Klubnik at Austin Westlake, sorry, 18 of 20 for 220 in the air, 97 on the ground, and 1 touchdown against Quinn Ewers, who was 23 of 39, slinging it, 351 yards, 3 tutties, but 2 picks actually. And Cade Klubnik and the boys actually won the state title, 52 to 34. So will that really is that foreshadowing to yet to come? I don't think so. I think Texas's D is pretty good. They're legit. They're top 5 in the nation in defense, points, yards, passing, and rushing. Clemson, they've had their run. I think just Texas is too much. Texas forever, baby. So we're going to take the Longhorns.
Yeah, I got to take the Longhorns here too. I mean, like you said, that defense is way too good. I don't have faith in a Clemson team that just squeaked on in here just because they won their conference at the end of the season. But Spinny, what do you think? You taking Longhorns too?
Yeah, I got no faith in Clemson at all, to be honest. So I think Texas is gonna be the winner here.
Yeah. What about the spread? Do you think that's an okay spread? I just feel like it's gonna be closer than 12 points.
Do you? I don't think this game's gonna be close.
Okay.
Nope. I
All
think
right,
this game's going to be a lot closer than everybody thinks.
You
So
think so?
if Clemson is getting 12 points, I'll take Clemson
Ooh.
to win on the spread, but Texas is going to end up pulling it out. Somehow Stark is going to make it happen. Maybe even Arch Manning might get in there a couple throws. You never know.
It'd be wild. That would be wild if he got in there. Obviously, the winner of that game is going to face Arizona State in the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl. We'll get to that later. But let's go to the 9-8 matchup. Tennessee is the 9 seed facing Ohio State. Ohio State is a 7.5-point favorite. I hate to say it, fellas. I'll be the first one to say I'm taking the Buckeyes in this game. I just feel like they got way too much experience for this type of setting. Oof. Are you taking Tennessee then, based on that reaction?
I like Tennessee. Usually when you're seeing Ohio State, they're always playing at noon. This is the one rare game. It's the 8 p.m. game. They don't really play under the lights, so we're gonna find out about that. But Tennessee, they've got Nico. He's right behind Shador. $8 million over the last 4 years in NIL deals. It's a little expensive, but let me ask you guys: do you know who's paying for the NIL for the Volunteers? It's the fans. This year and coming next year, the fans, they've added a 10% talent fee to all ticket sales to keep up with the NIL money.
What?
So we're gonna see.
I never heard of that. That's crazy.
Look it up. It's hard to believe. So I think the offense maybe relies on the defense a little bit too much. But Nico, I think, can kind of get lazy behind. But they do have Dylan Sampson, who I believe is right behind Genty in the nation as a top 4, top maybe 3 guy in the league. But he's going to be playing on Sundays. The name of the college football playoff, you guys, is going to be wide receiver and kick returner Squirrel White for the Volunteers. Fun guy, cool name. Squirrel White. So, if that takes away from anything, he's going to be fast. He's going to be moving around. But anyways,
that's the best kick returner name ever. Squirrel.
Right, so
Squirrel is the
White.
GOAT kick returner name. Like,
Squirrel White.
Damn, that's crazy. That being said, though, there is no chance Tennessee wins this game. Zero chance.
Hey, dang, 0 chance.
Zero. I am so confident in this game, and Ohio State's not even that good, and that's how confident I am.
Well,
I just don't think Tennessee has it.
Let me give you some Ohio State info. You kind of decide, okay? Hey,
all right.
Ohio State. You thought Tennessee was expensive. $20 million this year through Ohio State. That's an expensive team right there. Quinshawn Judkins, the only thing I've really heard of him is he's got the nasty spin move in NCAA 25. He's splitting carries with Trevon Henderson, so that move over hasn't really been all that great. And they went out and they said Kyle McCord, you're not as pretty, you're not as fast, you're not as strong as Will Howard. Get out of here, Will Howard. Is he really been an upgrade? 2,800 yards for 27 and 8. Well, Kyle McCord led the nation in passing, you guys. 4,300 yards, 29 touchdowns to 12 picks.
That is a
He's
fair
up there.
statement.
Yeah.
I don't think
Our
that was
other
much of an
fun,
upgrade either. I agree.
not much of an upgrade. Our other fun fact, they do have Jeremiah Smith, the cousin of hopefully he's riding on the bench this weekend, Geno Smith. That's another fun fact. He's up there with one of the better wide receivers in the league, in the conference, in the nation. Ohio State's D is supposed to be that good. You know, they got Jack Sawyer, they got JT out there on the other end. Those guys have only combined for 10 and a half sacks this year. Put that in perspective. Chase Young had 16 and a half by
By
himself
himself,
in
yeah.
2019. So the defense is supposed to be up there. You know, that everybody talks about Big Ten D. I'm not sure it's really there. Um, and that too, with that being said, Ryan Day, he might be coaching for his job this weekend. I
I
think
think
he's
so
coaching
too.
for his job. I don't know how content the program is. You know, he's 47 and 0 against unranked opponents until that Michigan game. And that makes him 1-4 against Michigan in the last
You
5 years.
Michigan. It's
He
wild.
can't beat Michigan. He can't beat Michigan, and he can't beat Tennessee. We're taking the Volunteers.
Okay.
Ooh,
Wow.
love that.
Okay, here we go. Winner of that game is going to face Oregon in the Rose Bowl. Moving on, 6 seed Penn State plays SMU, the 11th seed. Penn State is an 8.5 point favorite. I'll be the first one saying I'm taking SMU just purely because I hate Penn State and I cannot stand them. So I had to take one underdog here for sure.
Bus is taking an underdog? Are you okay?
Yes, I am,
Can I
Spitty.
check
I'm taking an
can I
underdog.
check your forehead? Like, are you feeling okay?
Everything's okay,
You
yes.
coming down with something over there? Or just want to make sure. It's
You
crazy.
can't
Never
you
thought
can't
I'd see
always
the
pick
day.
you can't always pick the over, guys. You got to hit at least one under. I like SMU. I've won 2 national championships with them in the new video game. I'm hoping that is some foreshadowing. But the one thing is, you know, the NIL is killing this country. A lot of people thought it was fentanyl, diabetes, gambling. No, it's the NIL. All right. Preston Stone was supposed to be the man this year. He's in the transfer portal behind Kevin Jennings. You guys got to look him up. He is a young Teddy Bridgewater. Shout out Teddy, actually. The GOAT, Teddy Bridgewater, won the state championship as
Yeah, shout out Teddy.
alma mater. So that's good to see that. He did say he might want to come back. I'm not sure how much Teddy's knees agree with that. But anyways, this is SMU's first year in the ACC, so snaps to them getting to the ACC championship. Maybe if they knew how to play football in the first half against Clemson and defend a kick, maybe they would have won the whole thing. But this is about SMU and Penn State. It's the scandal slate. It's not the morning slate. It's not the
Okay.
scandal. It's the scandal slate. I'm not sure if you guys knew this, but SMU, they were disqualified for regular season and postseason play 5 times in a 9-year span during the
That's wild.
70s and early 80s. You know, so hey, it's Texas, it's Dallas football. They want to win. We all know about Penn State scandals. If you don't do your own research, we won't get into that. But
Facts.
SMU proud alumni and alma mater Eric Dickerson and alma mater of the worst football player, meanest guy I know, Rashee Rice. Get better, son. But Penn State, how serious is Penn State? I mean, are we okay? It reminds me of the Cavaliers. It reminds me of the Sixers. Are we just okay about getting into the playoffs? Like, are we okay with getting into the tournament, or do we want to win? I think Penn State's not really got the best resume. If you're a good team, you should be beating bad teams. Lost to Ohio State. They haven't won a bowl game in the last 5 years. So for Penn State, the time is now. Now is the time. They got an 11 seed. If they win, they're going to take on Boise State. We don't know them enough, but again, we're going to do pony up SMU, baby. So we're taking.
Let's go.
That's 3 for
See.
3, boys. Because underdog God over here is taking
Oh,
SMU.
shut up,
So Captain
It's
Underdog over here. Captain Underpants, I'm Captain Underdog. We all know on this pod who picks the underdogs and still is almost winning on bus. It should be at least 2 or 3 game edge just from how many underdogs we pick. But anywho's, SMU winning will get SMU Boise State in the next round. Next.
Yep. That'd be the Fiesta Bowl. Next, we got Notre Dame hosting Indiana in the 7-10 matchup. Notre Dame is a 7-point favorite. I was never a believer of Indiana all season. I hate to say it. So I have to take Notre Dame in this game, even though I don't really like Notre Dame either. So I don't know. I'm kind of torn about this matchup. What do you got for us, Ben?
right. Yeah. It's like we're at the end of the wedding and the two single chicks are there, and we're just like, which one do we want? We're not really excited to take home either one of them. If anybody is out there listening that is planning on going to this game, I want you to know that there is no alcohol served at the
Really?
stadium in South Bend. So get
Okay.
your shooters, get your flask,
Yep.
fill that up. Like Jack said, I thought Indiana was a basketball school. Hey, we got OG
Facts.
Anunoby. We got Hornets legend Eric Gordon, who did give Marcus Jordan and son 55 in high school. Let's not forget. And of course, the great Victor Oladipo. I wish him well. He was a miss.
He was a dog.
But hey, it is the new era in Indiana. Signetti coming over from JMU, 2023 Sun Belt Coach of the Year in 13 seasons. Guys, he's a winner, 119-35. Indiana has been playing good. They've outscored everybody. They've put up 520 points this year. Uh, Again, a bad loss to Ohio State, yet they are here. Let's not forget Notre Dame did lose to Illinois State. I once dated a girl from Illinois State. Wasn't anything to brag about, nor is that loss Notre Dame. Marcus Freeman's got the guys rolling in year 3.
Yeah, he
I
does.
think this is a different Notre Dame team. This isn't the Manti Te'o, the 35-0 shellacking against Alabama years ago. We're going to take the Irish. We're going to take the Irish at home. I think Indiana is not about it.
This is a tough one, boys. This is one of the toughest first round game for me because, like you said, I'm not loving either team. Kind of at that mid level with both of them. I think it's a good matchup, so I'm just gonna take the team where I trust their coach slightly more, and that is Notre Dame. So we're gonna take Notre Dame as well here.
That home field helps. I mean, for those that don't know,
hmm
the higher seed hosts these first round games. So hard as hardos, just keep that in mind when you're filling out your bracket as well. Let's go all the way back up to the top. The Peach Bowl, Arizona State. I think we all had Texas winning. So I'll be the first one to say I definitely think Texas is going to take care of Arizona State in this game. They have a pretty good rush game, but like Ben alluded to earlier, that's one of Texas's strengths on the defensive side. So I think Texas. I honestly don't know if this will be a close game. Texas and Arizona State. I think Texas handles them pretty easily.
No, I agree with you. I'm excited to see what the line's going to be. Arizona's going to get
Yeah.
at least 18 points. And this is kind of what everybody alluded to about Ole Miss, Miami, even Alabama missing out on the playoff. I know nothing about Arizona State, but I know that they're going to lose. So this might come back to hurt the committee a little bit. This game might be more of a watch if somebody like a Miami or Alabama was right here. This would be something fun. But yeah, Texas day and night, Texas
Yeah, I
forever on
don't.
this one easily.
Yeah, you was Spinny, right?
Biggest blowout of any of the games we picked so far.
hmm
Yeah, I just don't see it with Arizona State. I know they're a conference champion, but I just don't see it. Next, the Rose Bowl. I have Ohio State facing Oregon. Obviously, Ohio State just has too many flaws compared to Oregon. Oregon's offense is just insane. It's got the rush game, it's got the pass game, it's got everything you want. I don't think Ohio State's going to be able to slow them down. I'm anticipating 40 plus points for Oregon in that game probably, and the number 1 seed will roll on to the semifinals.
Oregon's the most complete team, right? We all
Yes,
can
I
agree
agree.
on that. Ben, you with us on that?
Absolutely. I wish I had my Expo pen that I got when I stormed the field in Eugene. I've watched this game in person. It would be fun to see it again, but hey, look at that. Dan Lanning, number one seed, got a bye, 13 and 0, and congrats. Who do you get to play? Ohio State. It's a tough draw, but they've got the seasoned vet Dylan Gabriel, Heisman finalist, probably wasn't going to win, but just get that nod, get invited to New York is
Yeah.
always fun. Veteran guy going to keep the nerves down. And we're going to find out too, just like in the MLB, sometimes that bye hurts. You want to keep the momentum going. Seen it the last couple of years. Braves, Dodgers, Phillies, all bounced, had a great regular season and get bounced out of it. But I think Dan's got the boys geared to win. Tez Johnson, Evan Stewart running all around the field. I've got actually Tennessee playing. Again, I think Tennessee's just maybe a little bit too relaxed. I think Oregon can go up quick. Nico forces something, throws a pick, fumble, and it's not going to be as competitive again. And if you have to think about it, you want to look at it this: Oregon, quite a lot closer to California than in Ohio State or Tennessee. Ohio's kind of far away, so I think it's going to be a lot of green and yellow. Oregon's going to be too much. Go Ducks.
Spinning.
Oh, it's me, right? I'm supposed to pick who's up here. Jeez,
You're
where am
taking
I at
Yes,
Oregon.
sir.
today?
Yes, sir.
You're
This is your
taking Oregon.
podcast.
Yeah, I'm taking the boys. I'm taking the boys for sure. Oregon's winning this game.
Now the
Oregon.
Fiesta Bowl, Boise State. I picked SMU just purely off my hatred for Penn State. I definitely think Boise will be too much for SMU. I mean, Ashton Genty's been facing stacked boxes all season and it has not mattered even in the slightest. So, like Ben said, that bye could play an issue for some of these teams that received it, but I don't anticipate that being an issue for Boise State. Ashton Genty, he's about to run all over SMU.
Hello.
Well, I'm going to pick Boise State as well. Like you said, I think it's just going to be Gentry cutting them up, to be honest. So I think that's what we're going to see. SMSU, I can't even talk today, Bus. SMU's run defense is one of their weaker defensive points, and obviously that is Boise State's game. So BSU and the blue field for the dub.
How about you, Ben? What do you got for this game? SMU and
We
Boise.
got Boise, it's time that Genty gets to be on TV. He's
I know.
could I personally believe that he was the true Heisman. Everybody loves the snap
I
count
agree.
on Travis Henry. Travis, nothing taken away from him. It's a great athlete. I'm excited to see how that kind of transitions to the league. But hey, we're gonna really find out what Boise State's all about. They say that they don't play anybody, but for the last 12 weeks I've known is that the defense says tackle the guy in the backfield, and all the Boise State coach says, Genty, Ashton, run through a motherfucker's face. So
Yeah.
he's hungry. Nobody's stopping him. 2,500 yards short of Barry Sanders' record, 29 scores. The last betting line for him was 198 and a half yards. I mean, that's all it has to say if he's going to
Yeah.
hit the over or under. So I'm expecting a big game out of him. I love SMU, but Boise State's been in the Fiesta Bowl. We love the hook and ladder, the Statue of Liberty, Magic. You can't get struck by lightning twice, but Magic will. So we're going to take Boise.
Okay. We're all in agreement there, which is typically
Yes.
never a good thing. Sugar Bowl, Georgia is facing Notre Dame. For me, the experience I think is going to be way too much. They've been in these situations for years now, so I have to take Georgia in this game for sure.
Absolutely. I think it depends a lot on Carson Beck's health too. He did get beat up pretty bad in the SEC championship game, but besides that, he's been playing great as of late. 11 touchdowns to one pick in the last 5 games. And even if he doesn't play, I can't remember the backup's name, Stanton. The defense is going to keep him in the game.
Yeah.
Notre Dame's good, but Kirby, Glenny Balls, Glenn Schumann are going to turn it up, and Notre Dame is going to be hurt, and they're going to be long bus ride home for Christmas break. So we're going to take the dogs.
Who's that coming down the track? You know I'm picking. We know. We
The
looked. We
mean
saw.
machine.
We got Georgia, baby, in this game over Notre Dame.
Get that. That's disgusting, Spinny. I don't even know.
What? What do
I
you
don't even know what to
mean?
say to you right now. That was.
What?
Don't ever do that ever again. That was disgusting. Okay, let's go up top of the bracket again. The Cotton Bowl, Oregon versus Texas. I think we all have that. I'm just gonna. This is where my hatred of Texas is finally gonna kick in here. I can't pick them to win any more than this. They had the walk through Arizona State. They're not gonna beat the number 1 seed Oregon, even though they definitely could. But I can't pick them due to my hatred for them. So I have to take Oregon in this game, undefeated heading into the national tournament or national championship.
You know, Texas versus Oregon would bring a smile to my face. You know, it reminds me if they could go to the promised land, Vince Young and the old Trojans with I think was one of the greatest games to ever
That
be.
was a great game.
It's going to be a tough one. Very competitive rosters here. And I think it's going to come down to the coaching. You know, Stark, Dan Lanning, very tactical. They know the rule book in and out. I think it's going to come down. Don't be surprised when you see a couple veins in the forehead, somebody at midfield yelling about something. You know, you're going to see some tricky stuff, but you know, the one thing that is in common, that's common with the last two national champions, Georgia and Michigan, big old goose egg in the loss column, and we're going to take the Ducks on this one. Quack, quack.
Yeah, I trust Dylan Gabriel a lot more than I trust Ewers or Arch or whoever the Texas quarterback is. And I think Lanning has the slight coaching heads over Sark, even though Sark's done an unbelievable job in Texas. At Texas, you can't discredit anything
sure.
that he's done there. But I'm going to take Dan just slightly. I'm definitely going to take Gabriel over the Texas quarterback. So coaching quarterback again. We're going to go back to the team that's been number 1 the whole year, Oregon.
It's going to be a great game, though, if that's how it ends up. Texas, Oregon. Capital One Orange Bowl, Boise State versus Georgia. Again, sometimes it's just that simple for a casual college football fan like me. I am picking Boise State because I can't stand Georgia. I'm sorry, that's my
Whoa.
only reason here. I know the experience. I know this is going to be they're going to have a crazy line. They're going to be heavily favored. But Spinny, man, I'm taking my second underdog of the bracket, believe it or not.
Wow.
Boss, do you have the flu? Like, genuinely, do
I
you have
might,
the
yeah,
flu?
I
Are
might,
you
huh?
okay? All right, go to the doctor, bro. It's killing me.
That might be the
I'm
only
assuming
hill.
both of you guys are taking Georgia in this game, though.
Yeah.
Just the
Ashton
logical
Genty.
choice.
Ashton Genty is good, but George's defense is great. I don't
Yes.
know if there's any, but I would love to see if somebody else on Boise State scored a touchdown. Somebody else is going to have to step up. They're going to keen in on it. Miami has the oranges, but Georgia has the dogs, my friends. We're going to take the dogs.
Who's that coming
All
down
that.
the
Of
track?
course, you did it again.
Mean
Gotta
Machine
pull
in red and
out
black.
red and black, baby. Georgia definitely winning this game.
Yeah. No, that is the logical decision for sure. But I just couldn't do it.
Bus's favorite chant.
Oh my god, gross. Okay, national championship. I have Oregon versus Boise State. Obviously, I have to take Oregon in this. I actually truly do think Oregon's going to win it all this year, though. They've been, like Spinney said earlier this episode, they've been the most complete team this entire season, and I just don't really see that changing. I mean, they're led by a bunch of vets, Dylan Gabriel. I just trust what they have, and I'm just gonna bank on that. So Oregon is my national champion.
Hey, we love that pick. And if your pick is Boise State, Georgia, the only team Boise State's lost to, Boise State, Oregon, the only team Boise State's lost to is actually Oregon. They played them real close. I think it was a 7-point game. But 1 versus 2, we got Oregon, Georgia. Hopefully it's not so cookie cutter, but that would be the Cinderella story for Oregon. Missed out on the 4 team last year to Washington. They've beat Ohio State, in my eyes, the game of the year. First time in the Big Ten, taking them to the cleaners. Penn State played them
That's crazy.
close, but there'd be no better way to finish the season undefeated, Big Ten champs and national champs. I just hope that they can stay composed. they haven't been to the national championship in 11 years. Some of these kids on that team probably never even watched it. But that's the thing, Georgia. They've been to the national championship. They've also won it twice in the last 3 years. I think it's going to come down to execution. Hopefully it's a clean game, but somebody's going to slip up, and whoever's got the ball at the end is going to win, be the national championship. And that's going to be the Ducks, baby. We're taking Oregon
Okay.
and Dan Lanning
Two.
and Dylan
2 for
Gabriel.
2. Spinny, don't you dare sing.
Who's that coming down the track?
No, that's the thing I forgot.
Hey! I
And
love
then,
Georgia's championship experience. I do. I love the recency. I mean, not a ton of players had huge roles on that team, but the staff and players went through all of that. Again, going back to coach and quarterback, I probably trust Dylan Gabriel more for sure, but I definitely trust Kirby Smart more than Dan Lanning, given rep and everything like that. That being said, your national champion is the Oregon Ducks. I'm picking
Oh, thank
Oregon in this
gosh.
game.
Oh, you had me worried. You just had to do that to us. Fellas, I will admit, though, 3 for 3 on picking the Oregon Ducks. You know that means they're going to lose now.
let's hope not.
We jinxed their asses.
Yeah, we probably did. Well, Ben, do you have any other comments you want to make about this college football playoff? Otherwise, we appreciate you coming on, man, and spewing all your knowledge.
Hey, I appreciate it coming out here, boys. It's glad to be a part of it. I hope it's going to be as good and live up to the hype
Yes,
as
for
much
real.
as it is. Hopefully, this 12 team is what we want it to be. Hopefully, they don't add it to 16 or 32 and make it some March Madness. Football's a gladiator sport. I'm
Agreed.
not sure how much more games they can play. It's not like basketball. So, we're excited for it. Hopefully, it's going to be some good games. It's a great weekend and a great time to kick off the holiday season. So that's all I got. I appreciate it, boys.
Appreciate
Absolutely.
you, Ben. Thanks for coming on, my guy.
Appreciate you,
Absolutely.
Hardys Hardos.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays, y'all.